So only start bringing up their boundaries.
Or addictions, or what else was
Right.
it?
It's a list, right?
Something about that Patreon. Yo, what y'all addicted to?
Who said? Who's
You.
We all set boundaries. Nope. No, we're not going that boundaries pathway. It don't lead nowhere to be here till 10 o'clock.
The truth about why Melyssa Ford stormed off set is coming to the light. On the last episode of the Joe Budden podcast, Imani and the cast would give insights into what may have happened in Melyssa Ford's final moments on the show for about a week or so. So the cast starts talking about, when Imani brought up addiction. And let's rewind to when Imani broached the topic on the show in this clip here.
I'm not saying anything. I don't know your life.
Is there something that I don't know?
You said there was a point.
There was a point.
There was a point where,
Can you put this down and say it?
yeah, there was a time where there was a little bit too much self-medication, but, now I don't.
Liquor.
Was that a long time ago?
Yeah.
This whole room is in denial.
There you can see Melyssa Ford's trepidation in exploring the subject. But what they say in this clip I played in the beginning is that, hey, the subject was very controversial amongst the cast, with someone saying F you and speaking about their boundaries. So what I think they're going through right here is they're breaking down what actually happened the moment Melyssa Ford decided to storm off. They have the conversation. They begin talking about the subject, and then later on, Melyssa Ford realizes that she may have revealed more than she wanted to. And for those of you that don't remember, Melyssa Ford has talked about her issues on the show previously in an episode called More on Mel. Then there was something I noticed online. Well, when I was on Twitter, somebody pointed out a clip from a previous episode where Melyssa Ford outlines why things may be going bad for her at the Joe Budden podcast.
There is a lot of provocation in the name of joking done up here. And then also, I have not really kind of like created or asserted any boundaries anymore. So a lot of times boundaries will be pressed in the name of a joke.
It is in this clip here that she talks about how she has failed to set boundaries and that everything has become cannon fodder for the show. Well, I think these pieces all together reveal what happened to Melyssa Ford. And ever since she's been talking about, the corporation, what's going on behind the scenes and all of this jazz. And I can't wait until tomorrow where we get to see if she appeared on the show. Now, it doesn't seem like she was fired just by the general sentiment of this show. But like I've said in previous videos, the fact that she keeps getting suspended and the cast looks so happy when she's not there is not a good sign. She's essentially a dead woman walking. But let me know what you think, guys. Do you feel like this is indeed what happened with Imani outlining that when he brought up the subject, everybody kind of got somber? And even Parks, the person that he's imitating with the F you, it sounds like he's imitating Melyssa Ford. Remember, she's the one who speaks in that type of tone, and I believe that that is exactly what they are referencing. And for a lot of you folks who believe that, this is just COE, I don't think it's COE. COE is content over everything, by the way. Content over everything isn't really easy for people to execute. These people aren't good actors. And for the most part, most people aren't good actors. Like, these folks spend time together. There's no pre-production meeting where they actually go over how to act. They might do a little talking about the topics and whatnot, but to actually create a script about, when you mention the alcoholism, I'm going to walk off set and then it's going to be a thing for a week. And I also want to react to some of the comments that have been, propagating my comment section. A lot of people are saying she has a movie coming. There was some dude who even said she's doing a movie with Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey! Now, listen, Kevin Spacey is a great actor. Of course, he got caught up in some serious allegations. But even in light of those serious allegations and his fall from grace, I doubt he's doing a movie with Melyssa Ford. No diss, but I mean, that guy is like the top of the industry, and I don't think Lifetime is signing up Kevin Spacey to do some of its really redundant films. For those of you who are saying Melyssa Ford went to do a film, I just don't see it. On top of that, she didn't appear at Joe's birthday party, which she seemed adamant about going to. I think she didn't go because of several situations. I know there's this theory that Joe's girl didn't want him there, but that's just a theory. That's just a theory. I have no solid evidence, but there's a lot of people in my comment section who suggested that, but only time will tell. Now, as to what will happen when Melyssa Ford returns, I think more of the same. I think she's going to keep up appearances. They might touch on the topic somewhat, but besides that, it's only a matter of time before she gets suspended again or asked for a mental health day. And I wonder how sustainable that is with this new caveat that's coming along the way, which is a new woman co-host, a new person that Melyssa Ford will be compared to. But I would caution Melyssa Ford to be mindful of the fact that this new co-host might actually be worse than what she may anticipate. One of the things that I find interesting is that we assume that a show with an awkward history with women co-hosts will work out. Just because Melyssa Ford may not have panned out to the level we think doesn't necessarily mean a Don't Call Me White Girl will also work. Remember, Don't Call Me White Girl has a history with a previous show where she didn't fit in $1 million worth of game. And also, if you look at her podcasting style, it's very A-mic-ish. Will she be able to adjust to the fact that there's so many mics? I think that's the biggest threat to the Joe Budden podcast right now, is that everybody wants their voice to be listened to. And some of the people it has hurt has been Queen's Flip, right? Queen's Flip was on the show talking about there's so many mics up there, it's hard to talk. Same with Ish. He said the same type of thing, like it's so many mics, there's so difficult ways to talk. Mark has said the same thing, and even Joe Budden has said there's a lot of mics. And J1, who was on the show towards the end of last year, said the same exact thing. So if Melyssa Ford plays her cards right, and there's a new woman co-host, and they're as, bad as her transition into the pod was, then maybe she might actually come out looking good in this whole situation. That's right. By comparison, we might see that Melyssa Ford is more professional than a Don't Call Me White Girl, that she actually knows how to pick her spots better, and she's perfectly fine without being the A-mic. But like I always say, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think the future is for Melyssa Ford on the Joe Budden podcast. I know I saw Dub, the Files with Dub, say that someone contacted him saying that a lawsuit is possibly coming from Melyssa Ford, and the person that he spoke to was someone that he trusts. I don't know. I just don't see Melyssa Ford actually taking it there. I think she's pretty solid when it comes to that regard, but she was involved in litigation with the Bravo network. Remember when she was assaulted by a young lady? But that's a different thing. Like an assault, getting hit with a bottle allegedly, that's a whole nother scenario than what we're talking about. But I mean, if it's at the end of her career in content creation, maybe a payoff or somebody being proactive, maybe Joe might say, listen, Melyssa Ford, I don't want you on the show no more. You don't want to be on the show no more. Here is a lump sum of cash for all of the stuff you've done over the last few years. And that was something else that was interesting about the Joe Budden podcast. Remember when Melyssa Ford said that when she joined, she didn't get paid. She told Joe, I don't want to get paid for the first few episodes or months. I don't know how long this agreement was, but I assume that's how she got onto the show, with the guise of not being her usual self. Maybe she was like, okay, I'm not going to give it up how Joe wants me to in terms of the topics I discuss, but that can be mitigated by the fact that he's not going to pay me and my presence alone will allow him to grow the visibility of the show, because the visibility of the show did grow with Melyssa Ford's presence. I mean, she's a celebrity herself, and overall, she does bring some type of value because her viral moments are really viral. Like I said, it's been at her expense with the Cameron situation, the Eddie Griffin situation, and her looking a little ditzy sometimes. But nonetheless, they have been some of the biggest moments of the show. And some of my biggest videos have been with Melyssa Ford involved. She brings the woman audience and she brings the male audience. All right, y'all, that's my video for now. A lot is going on at the Joe Budden podcast, and I swear it's because of that $20 million thing. I really do think that unlocked a lot of drama, and we will see if Joe's admission that the show makes $20 million a year is a good or a bad thing for the Joe Budden podcast. Follow me on Instagram to Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter to Stop TV. Follow me on Patreon to Stop. This is Danny from the Stop. Peace.